Hello everyone, welcome back to another video on the nerd-centric channel. It is I, Harish, and I'm so glad to be doing this intro after so long. First and foremost, I want to get the formalities out the way and wish you all a happy new year as we officially enter 2026. It's been ages since a video on this channel has been uploaded. The last video was a review for Fantastic Four First Steps, and that was in August. So it's been quite a long time since then. Good to be covering and making content on this channel now that the new year is in full effect. While I know some of you may have been expecting coverage on Avengers Doomsday, which is a highly anticipated Marvel film that is releasing in December of this year. The reason why I have yet to cover that as a whole is because there are 4 teasers set to officially drop in the coming weeks. So we've only gotten half of those teasers that have officially released. So I'm waiting for everything to drop so that I can make one complete video covering all these 4 teasers. But rest assured, I will do a video on Avengers Doomsday. This video is still within the Marvel space, specifically Marvel Television, as Marvel finally decided to drop the official trailer for the TV series of Wonder Man, which is releasing later this month, starring Yahya Abdul Mateen II as the titular character, Ben Kingsley as Trevor Slattery, and actor Zlatko Buric, who appeared in another comic book movie last year, in that of James Gunn's Superman, where he played the character of Vasil Gurkos. This is one of many Marvel projects set to release this year, alongside many other TV shows, animated projects, and films. But I think the more important burning question that most of you viewers are having: who the heck is this character? What is this show even about? Before we cover and break down the most recent trailer for Wonder Man, I think it would be best to look at the source material and background information about the character so that you, the audience, know the character of Simon Williams, aka Wonder Man. The information that I'm about to read to you comes from Marvel.com's official page dedicated to the character. Born in Paterson, New Jersey, as the younger son of munitions manufacturer Sanford Williams, Simon is a bookish lad who loves maths, chess, and jazz, and prefers reading to sport. His father demands the best from both Simon and his brother Eric, becoming physically abusive when they did not receive straight A's. Desperate for parental approval, young Simon excels in sciences but never satisfies his perfectionist father. The less academic Eric responds to Sanford's beatings by bullying Simon. Eric drifts into crime, but Simon resists pressure to follow suit, instead taking over Williams manufacturing around the age of 20 after their father died, renaming it Williams Innovations. Simon's inexperience in leadership lands the company in debt, partly because rival firm Stark Industries constantly outdoes them on the research and development front. Simon turns to Eric, but his brother's intimidation tactics fail to garner contracts. In desperation, Simon embezzles money, hoping to invest it in Eric's Magia ventures for a quick profit. Caught by the authorities, Simon admits his guilt. Before his sentencing, Simon's bail was paid by the Asgardian sorceress Amora the Enchantress. Her ally, Nazi scientist Baron Heinrich Zemo, aka Baron Zemo, offered Simon superhuman powers and a chance for revenge in return for helping Zemo's Masters of Evil destroy the Avengers, who were funded by Simon's rival Tony Stark. Simon accepted, but after Zemo's ionic ray treatments granted him superhuman strength and durability, Zemo revealed that the treatment would also kill Simon without weekly doses of an antidote. Believing Simon's loyalty thus ensured, the Masters lured the Avengers into battle, and Simon came to the heroes' aid as Wonder Man. After the Masters fled, Simon asked to join the Avengers, who took him in and helped seek a cure for his terminal condition. Touched by the Avengers' concern and respect for him, Simon nevertheless lured them into the Master's ambush a few days later. When he realized Zemo would kill his captives rather than ransom them off as Simon had presumed, Simon switched sides, freeing the Avengers. The Masters fled, but Simon collapsed and seemingly died moments later, saying he was happy to have done one noble thing in his life. That was the character character's origins, and this is going into the character's powers. Wonder Man's ionic energy permeated body has greatly enhanced strength, durability, reflexes, and stamina. He is impervious to virtually any form of penetration wound and does not tire. He does not require food, water, or air, and does not age. He can fly at speeds in excess of 700 miles per hour. He formerly wore a rocket belt or jetpack powered by his own ionic energies, but no longer requires these to fly. He can leap hundreds of feet from a standing jump and discharge ionic energy on contact to disrupt others. For a time, he shifted into an energy form while using his powers, but his conventional physical form now seems to be his usual state. When his powers destabilize, his strength increases when angry, and he can alter his physical appearance, grow to giant stature, fire energy beams from his eyes, explode and reform at will, and empower others with ionic energy. He can control his internal energy flux to make his eyes appear normal temporarily. His eyesight extends beyond the normal human visible spectrum, and his hearing is also enhanced. I just wanted to put in some last few fun elements of the comic book character before we dive into his MCU counterpart. In the comics, Vision and Wonder Man share similar brain patterns. As previously mentioned in the character's origin section, Simon had a brother known as Eric Williams, who had gone mad after his brother had died and blamed the Avengers for it. He then fully turned to villainy, becoming the Grim Reaper. Actor Demetrius Gross is a part of the cast of this show of Wonder Man, and he is listed as the character of Eric Williams, so we could see the live action appearance of the Grim Reaper. I remember first being introduced to this character as he showed up in Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes and in Avengers Assemble. Ultron is made aware of Reaper's vengeance against the Avengers and uses copies of Simon's brain patterns to create the Vision. Later on, Grim Reaper is able to find Simon's body, and with the aid of Ultron are able to revive Simon. Simon gains consciousness and joins the Avengers. Wonder Man himself restored Vision when he was disassembled, which resulted in him becoming the White Vision that had lost his memories. Though this caused friction between Scarlet Witch and Simon Williams, later on the tension between one another would resolve, and the two of them developed romantic feelings for one another for quite a while. In addition, Wonder Man has been a part of teams in the Marvel Universe such as the Avengers, West Coast Avengers, and the Guardians of the Galaxy. Lastly, when Simon and Beast take a cinema trip, this in turn inspires Simon Williams to have a life outside of the Avengers, and this experience inspires him to become an actor and stuntman. Now that we have the background info of this character from the comics, this can really help us navigate what we see in this latest trailer for the show. As for my personal take on Wonder Man wasn't a character that I was all that familiar with initially. Like, I've seen images of the character. I was mostly familiar with the character when he showed up in the animated series of Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes, where they really cover that character's transition and origin and that turn to villainy. In terms of this iteration of the character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, typically in the comics, Simon Williams is depicted as a white man, whereas in this show, the character is a person of color, specifically African American, who is played by actor Yahya Abdul Mateen II. Actor Yahya isn't no stranger to the comic book space, as he's played Black Manta in the previous two Aquaman films in the DCEU, and also played the character of Dr. Manhattan in the Watchmen TV show. Him joining the Marvel Cinematic Universe this time around is going to be really interesting, especially with what this show is going to tackle. So far, there have only been 2 trailers for this show, but the main gist of it is that a director known as Von Kovak wants to do a reboot of an in-universe film called Wonder Man. Yahya plays the character of Simon Williams, who is an aspiring actor with the hopes of getting to play the titular character, as it was a very special film that he got to experience as a kid with his father in the cinema. To help him land this role, Ben Kingsley, who is reprising his role as Trevor Slattery, who we all know as the fake Mandarin, is going to be showing up in this series as Simon's acting coach. He's going to help show him the ins and outs of Hollywood. His character, being an actor, doesn't feel out of place especially with what this show is tackling. From what I've seen of a lot of people reacting to the footage of Wonder Man, people point to the show called The Studio that stars Seth Rogen, as well as many other well-known Hollywood actors and actresses that appear on that show. From what little I've seen from the show, from clips here and there, and from the word of mouth, this series tackles the inner workings and the behind the scenes of making projects like films and TV in Hollywood, whilst also being a fun meta commentary which is poking at these things as well. While I haven't seen a lot of this show and only snippets of it, and from the footage I've seen of Wonder Man, it does display those similar elements. The show tackling this meta narrative that a film director is doing a in-universe reboot of a superhero film in a day and age where the superhero movies are withering out will be interesting to see, as we see the little slogan of superhero fatigue. Though I'd say recently it's gotten a resurgence through both DC and Marvel. Though it will be nice to see how this show tackles superhero fatigue in a world that's already inhabited by superheroes. Moreover, I also like the casting of Yahya, as he's a person of color playing a comic book character who is traditionally white in the source material, adds that extra element and meta commentary on the show, race swapping / casting of well-known fictional characters in certain media, and how that has caused a certain facet of the internet to get riled up, and you get those poorly done thumbnails by those rabbit YouTubers who always use the infamous word being woke. It would be nice for a show like this to touch upon this idea, as we could see how Simon is facing backlash for his casting, and we as the viewers seeing Simon have to deal with that on a personal level. Lastly, I'm really going to be fascinated with how this show tackles Simon's powers, as he's never really been adapted into live action before. Whenever I see images of this character, he's always emitting this purple energy that I could never quite understand. But to see the way this show tackles his powers as a way to not only bring in familiar comic book / superhero elements fans are used to, it adds another level of stakes / tension for the character of Simon Williams. The addition of actor Arian Moayed, I hope I'm pronouncing that actor's name correctly, he's reprising his role and playing his character of Agent Cleary from the DODC, or more formally known as the Department of Damage Control. The organization first appeared in Spider-Man Homecoming, as they would be the cleanup crew that would take care of the collateral damage the Avengers left in the wake of their battles. Agent Cleary specifically first appeared in Spider-Man No Way Home, as he was interrogating Peter as well as his friends and Aunt May as well. And in No Way Home, DODC are the ones to seize full control of all Stark Tech drones. Furthermore, he also appeared in the show Ms. Marvel, as we see how the DODC are using the Stark Tech drones as weapons to capture and go after superpowered individuals like Kamala herself. With his inclusion in this show and talking to Trevor about how the DODC views Simon as a threat because of his abilities, adds an element of stakes to the show, as Simon will most likely have to be on the run so that the DODC doesn't apprehend him. Minor spoilers, but there have also been some reports that the DODC will appear in Spider-Man Brand New Day 2. Some speculate that with the DODC going after superpowered individuals in the Marvel universe, this could be the early beginnings of mutant prejudice and could be one of the first mutant hate groups, or even lead to the creation of the Sentinels when the MCU introduces the X gene / mutant gene following the X-Men post-Secret Wars. Overall, Wonder Man being the start of Marvel Studios' 2026 slate of content will be very interesting to see. The show is dropping all 8 episodes at once on the 27th of January. For those who may not be able to keep up with the weekly release format of these superhero shows that have come out as of late, this may be up people's alley as a show that they could be able to binge in one sitting. I'm just glad that this show is seeing the light of day, and to see Marvel Studios poke fun at themselves by tackling the inside of the entertainment industry, as well as the idea of superhero fatigue in this fictional world of the MCU. Hopefully this show performs well enough to warrant more future appearances of the character of Wonder Man later on in the MCU. I'll definitely do my best to check out this show when it releases, and hopefully be able to cover it if I can. Lastly, Destin Daniel Cretton is not only the director of the show, but he is one of the creators and executive producers for it too. It's going to be a really interesting year for this director, as he's also helming Spider-Man Brand New Day, which is releasing this summer. Shang-Chi is one of my favorite Phase 4 films in the MCU, so to see how he does a show like Wonder Man, which is very different from Shang-Chi, and transition from Wonder Man to Spider-Man Brand New Day has certainly gotten me interested. And that concludes this video. If you are new here, please like and subscribe, as it shows your support, and comment down below what are your thoughts on Wonder Man, or whether this video was helpful in educating you on the character of Wonder Man. In addition, hit the bell notification icon next to the subscribe button, as it will notify you of when videos on the channel go live. Once again, it's good to be back, and I wish you all a very happy new year, and that this year treats you well and nothing but good things come your way. With 2026 now in full effect, I'll do my best to cover all the upcoming comic book content for 2026. Anyways, it's good to be back. Take care and see you guys on the next video.